Hey everybody, welcome back and thank you for tuning in for Wildcard Wednesday, where every week I distill something I have foraged, and it's always, random. It's whatever I find. So last week, just to recap, I distilled these beautiful Blue Lotus flowers, which are technically the blue water lily. I import them from Thailand, and I also get our absolute there. And so one of the things I'm doing is last week we started this tincture, and we're going to remove the spent flowers and replace them with a new batch. What I'm going to be doing with this eventually after I have a few charges, it's called charge, but it's basically changing out of the flowers, is I will have a concentrated scented tincture that I'm then going to do an evaporation extraction from. And I'll do a video for that. It'll be a little bit different from my usual, traditional distillation videos. I've been drinking a ton of Blue Lotus tea and loving it, but what I'm finding is Blue Lotus in San Pellegrino is to die for. I don't know, it just resonates with me. And it's perfect for, the Sacramento weather, which we're about to hit 100-degree week. We're getting into full-on summer. So one of the things I also wanted to mention last week, and it's something I knew better, but I got very excited. I've waited a really long time to distill Blue Lotus, and so this was just, I forgot to do this, but I want to mention it because if you do try it, it's important to know. So when I distilled, I stuffed the column with dried flowers, but I also stuffed the belly, and I poured water in there and everything, and so that was fine. However, what I ended up with when I cut the distillation at about 3.5 hours in the belly of the still was a resin, which was not what I was trying to achieve. This is something that you'll find on smoke sites where they're using it in whatever capacity. I'm not a smoker, so I don't really know, but I see Blue Lotus in different things, different resins, because once it's cooked down, it becomes like resinite-like. Anyway, that's what ended up in the bottom of the still. It was a lot of fun to clean. And so I just wanted to make a note. You really want to have on something that's really a sticky floral like that, you want to definitely have a colander in the bottom. And I know this. Yeah. Anyway, so I love learning stuff, and then I love sharing what I've learned so that other people can kind of benefit from it, or laugh at me. I'm cool either way. I'm good. Anyway, so let's find out what we're going to distill this week. One of my favorite things that I love doing on the planet is just foraging. I love foraging. And so this morning I started out, and I have been using my iPhone to identify plants and flowers and just all kinds of trees and everything that grows here in Sacramento, because I'm from Canada, so there's some different stuff that grows here. But anyway, I discovered this morning that we have Utah juniper. I knew it was a juniper. I recognized the scent, and so that'll be on my list to distill at some point. I also discovered that, yes, we have redwoods growing all over the place, and the needles on the tree right now are just phenomenal. They've got that grand fir kind of note to it, sort of a pineapple fruity thing, and they're just beautiful. And Atlas cedar, and the cones are out right now, and they're super sticky. And so there's two things I'm going to do with that one. I'm going to distill it, but I'm also going to cook up the cones and make a jam. So that might be a separate video as well. But let me know in the comments below if that's even interesting to you. And of course, daylilies, which are incredibly edible, delicious, and they are popping right now in Sacramento. So those are too pretty. I don't want to eat them. I'll eat the next round, but they're just pretty. I want to enjoy them, so I'm going to enjoy them. But guess what we're distilling today? We are distilling Gardenia. Did you guess? And we're doing a two-part. So down here is, I kind of talked about this last week, I believe. So I went to Egypt last fall, and the day I got back, I was so homesick for Egypt. Can you imagine? I'd been there for 2 weeks. I came back and I just wanted to go straight back. And anyway, I was a zombie because I was tired, and I didn't want to leave Egypt so fast, and I felt like I had, so much unfinished business. And I realized, oh, right, Sacramento has 2 crops of gardenias, and there are 2 isolated areas and fields where I've been kind of nurturing and just taking care of the last couple of years. And this year, it gave and it gave and it gave. And so anyway, getting back to the tincture. So last fall, literally the day after I got back from Egypt, I found gardenia flowers, because they come in June and they're only here for maybe a week and a half. It's so fast that, I have to make sure I'm watching, until they're ready to harvest. And then they come back in October, and it's even shorter time. It's, I would say, less than a week even. And so I tinctured these. They've been sitting in tincture since last October. So I'm going to take some of these gorgeous powdery flowers, and I will remove the spent flower, just like I'm going to do with the Blue Lotus. And then I will put fresh flower in, and I'm going to do that a couple of times. And then again, we're going to vacuum distill it, so it'll be like an absolute instead of typical steam distillation. But these guys, oh no, we're distilling these guys. Right, Udi? Yeah. This is my little man and my little helper. All right, so let's get to distilling. All right, we are charging our tinctures again. So this is a new batch of dried Blue Lotus flowers and Gardenia. Gardenia is so interesting because the second you kind of manhandle it, which happens when you're, sticking it in a jar, or you're doing enfleurage, or you want to dry them, they look beat up, but they don't let off on the powdery, spicy scent that they have. They're just beautiful. So I'm really excited to see where the tinctures, both of these tinctures for that matter, land. And then after, when we we process them into absolutes. But in the meantime, the still is ready. And I've already filled with water, and just topping it off a little. And we will get to distilling this. I'm really excited. I can't wait to smell this stuff. Okay, we've just started the Gardenia distillation, and I'm excited. But then I'm excited with all the distillations. I mean, they're all up there for me. Anyway, I wanted to try a different single burner, because the one I was using was okay, but it kind of cycled on and off a lot, which can be a little bit of too much of a disruption with your distillation, because you want an even heat source. And with the bigger distillations that I do, obviously I use I use gas, but I'm just doing small experimentations, and I really set out to do these videos to show just how easy it was to just start up, and I didn't want it overly complicated. So I'm using a little hot plate or single burner for these distillations, and it's only a 3-liter still, so it doesn't need gas. I mean, we could do it, but it's a little over the top. Anyway, I hope this one is a significant upgrade, and once the distillation's done, I'll kind of have my answer. And I had looked at commercial single burners such as the Waring, and it seemed like they just had a whole lot of issues. So anyway, we'll see what this one does, and we should have something coming out of the still in about 20-25 minutes roughly, and we'll come back and see what's happening. Oh yeah. Those first drops are like a first kiss every time. So we are now starting to distill gardenia flowers. And I have to say, so far so good with this countertop burner. I'm really happy with it. I've turned down the heat a little because now we want to kind of settle in and start coasting on this distillation. And it smells sweet and spicy in here. So I'm excited. This is going to be a really great distillation. Well, they all are. They're great in terms of just the sheer excitement of doing something new and unique. Oh, and the ice is talking too. We are 2.5 hours in, and this is what the distillation is looking like. It smells beautiful. I'm already loving it. And this countertop burner, or single burner, the Cuisinart, awesome. It's been great. It's been very consistent. It doesn't cycle off for long periods. It barely cycles off. And I've been having a really great distillation. It's kind of funny because last week the Blue Lotus made me work super hard. But this one, you know, 20 minutes in, I started getting a really nice hydrosol coming out of the still. Gotta love that. All right, we're at the 3.5 hour mark for this Gardenia distillation. And we're gonna cut it now. There's a little bit still coming out, but after 3.5 hours, when it comes to delicate florals, I don't really like to push it much further. You end up losing a lot of that beautiful essence that's coming out in the first part of the distillation. So, and we got a respectable 1,200 milliliters of hydrosol. So I'm excited, and you know, we give these away, and so when people place orders in our Apothecary and they let us know they subscribe, we give this away you know, all week long. I love to give away lots of stuff. So so yeah, they'll be in orders. And if you like the content for this week, please consider subscribing and let us know when you do place an order. And if you have any comments or questions or any of that kind of thing, please leave comments below. If there's something you're interested in seeing me distill, let me know. I'm just all ears. There's so much stuff that grows here in Sacramento. It just blows my mind, actually. So, you know, I'm sure we can find whatever it is you're curious about. But that's it for this week, Wildcard Wednesday. Thanks for watching.